Those of you who have just tuned in,
Yep.
we are joined this morning by Daz Challis, who is part of the Help for Heroes team, going off to Florida next week for the Invictus Games.
Thank you for coming in, Daz. And last time we spoke, you were up to crazy things as well, sort of going across continents and God knows what else. Today, what did we speak to you last? What were you doing last time we spoke to you?
It was the Enduro Man challenge that we did.
So this year, you're doing something else even more amazing.
Yeah, I continued my training on from last year.
Yep.
And earlier this year, an email came out for those that wanted to attend the trials to be selected for the UK team to go out for the Invictus Games. So I went down to Bath, did swimming and cycling, which were my two sports, and I was lucky enough to be selected and given a place on the UK team to go out to Orlando next week for the Invictus Games.
Can I just say, because you deserve this, can we have a round of applause for this, man? I love having audience participation as well.
Good having an audience.
It cost me 50 quid to get them in this morning anyway. No, but so basically, how did that feel when you got chose? You got picked, chose.
The email came in and I was sort of like very apprehensive about opening it, and I opened it, read down, and it said, "Congratulations, you've been given a place." And the emotions just came out. The people I worked with were like, "What's up with you?" Well, I can't tell you because at that point everything was embargoed.
Right.
So I then had to obviously go outside and ring my good lady wife and say, "Guess what? I've been selected for the games."
That must be amazing. And obviously the amount of hard work and effort and physical stuff you put yourself through the last... It's not... It rewards the wrong word, but it's kind of the continuation of what you've basically invested your time doing for the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, it's been training sort of like 18 hours a week training between swimming, cycling and a little bit of running in between, because obviously I've still got some of the triathlons later on this year once the games have finished, so it's just maintaining that standard of fitness to hopefully compete in the events.
So tell us about the Invictus Games, because obviously a lot of people have heard about it in the news and social media. They might not actually know about what it's all about and what goes on. So tell us all about that.
The Invictus Games was set up by Prince Harry to, if you like, demonstrate that there is life after the army for wounded, injured or sick service personnel. So the first one was obviously in London after the Olympics in 2014, and from there everything has grown massively. So this year the Americans are hosting it in Orlando in the ESPN Worldwide Sports Centre. So obviously there's now over 500 athletes from different countries taking part. I believe there's 15 countries now taking part in the Invictus Games. And it's basically highlights what can be done with life after your injury. So those people that have got missing limbs, your injury doesn't stop you achieving your goals. So this is what we're trying to get out there to say, look, although you have injuries, although you have problems, by using sports recovery, you can overcome these and you can move on and you can do really, really well in future careers, future life, etc.
And tell us about obviously your injuries yourself that you've sustained and stuff.
My injuries, I have spinal injuries, pelvis and leg injuries. So I have 2 metal rods in my legs from various injuries that I attributed through service. I've got lower back injuries, L4, L5 in the lumbar spine, thoracic spine injuries and cervical neck injuries. So for me, the running side of it is my least favourite, which is why I've now gone on to swimming and cycling, so no impact work for me.
It is amazing, honestly. I every time I see you, I just think to myself, what a man. Do you know what I mean? Generally, I should...
You think you got problems?
I beat myself up because I don't get on my bike often enough. You know what I mean? And Daz is doing it. It's just incredible. How many of you are going over from the UK? Just so
there's 110 people in the team.
Okay.
And then obviously we've got about 50 staff going out with us, so physios, doctors, support staff, carers, etc. So overall there's about 100 and maybe 60 in the team, but there's 110 athletes.
And have you been over to the States before? Is this
I have been over to the States, but obviously not to the ESPN Centre.
And in levels of excitement, because this must be like, you must be like, you know, it's like Christmas. How do you sleep?
It's difficult. It's getting onto that to say, well, actually, after this, I become an international athlete because we're competing on an international stage.
It's mad, isn't it?
I don't think it's quite hit home yet. It's just brilliant.
And I think for everyone listening in Folkestone, you know, the Invictus Games, it's got a massive since the last time, and it's really nice if people are listening now. You know, we're sending someone from this town over to represent. We might see you on the telly and everything.
Yes, BBC are going to obviously broadcast it. I know there's a programme on Monday evening following some of the people.
Brilliant.
How they got selected for the games and what it's been like for their families and friends. And like I say, they are going to do some of the coverage for the games while we're out there.
I just can't wait. You should jump in on the banter between Obama and the Queen on Twitter. You know, I mean, they're at Invictus Games stuff is fun. Let them know you're coming. Brilliant. Chris, is there anything you'd like to ask this fine example of a man before
Just a quickie, you're doing swimming and cycling. What swim are you doing?
I'm doing 50 metre freestyle, 100 metre freestyle and 50 metre breaststroke.
Nice.
And then the cycling, I'm doing a time trial and a criterium road race.
Brilliant.
And that's just a straight go for it.
Yeah, the time trial is basically you're given a set distance and you just go as flat out as fast as you can. And then the criterium is a 30-minute at the moment, so we've been told road race plus 5 laps.
Okay.
So you all set off and just keep cycling.
So obviously, if you want to find out any more information, head over to the Invictus website. Darren, is there anywhere you'd suggest as well? Is there anyone people can find out what you're up to?
There was an article on Kent Online yesterday showing myself and one of the team members in the Jaguar Land Rover wind tunnel, doing some wind tunnel testings with the new Jaguar F-Type, and there's an article there. And I say everything else is all on the Invictus website.
Absolutely fantastic. It's so good to see. Please, will you come back when you get back? Will you come back in and just tell us how it went and share that experience with us?
Yep, I certainly will.
All the very best, mate. Honestly, it makes me smile, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
The smile on my face right now is an absolute genuine smile. Really, genuinely, all the very, very best of luck when you go over there. And I will be watching the telly. And if I see her, I'll be like, I spoke to him. I spoke to that man there. When you really, I'll be doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Daz, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Good luck. All the very best. And we'll catch up with you when you get back.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Bit of Flow Rider now, whistle. Let's have a round of applause for the man. Right, singing left to go before we hand over at 10 o'clock. It's busy.
Can you blow my whistle, baby?